Good morning, traders. Happy Monday to you. It's 8:02 a.m. Chicago time on Monday, the 10th of July, 2023. This is episode number 2498. Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. A quick push. Well, first, I want to remind everyone that we've got this public AMA, which I haven't done for quite some time, probably since last summer or fall. We've got this public AMA going on this Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. It's Eastern Daylight Time, not standard. Let's fix that. I hate for you to call me a perfectionist, but that would bug me. Thursday at 1 p.m. The way to get there is to go to point your browser to go to ct.pro/ all caps FT71AMA. It is case sensitive. So if you have questions about trading, how I'm looking at things, trading in general, prop, making it as a trader, issues that you're having, psychology or performance or whatever it is, let's discuss it there. Thursday at 1 p.m. Go to ct.pro/ all caps FT71AMA. Thanks. So this is the conversion trading pre-market summary sheet. Again, you can always grab this at twitter.com/conv trading. It drops at about 8:50 a.m. Eastern US time every morning. This morning, we have a mixed market. We actually had a very interesting overnight session across the board. U.S. markets dropping as a continuation of the index move down on Friday. Big reversal down. And then this morning, we're seeing a big reversal up. So the U.S. markets are unchanged. The S&P is right at settlement with the Dow up 23 points. The NASDAQ less than not even a half or a quarter of a rotation. It can go back to unchanged in one sweep. The Russell, same, off just 3 ticks from its settlement, and the European markets are stronger from where they settled. Remember, they settled at a different time than the U.S. markets, so they look like they're strong up, but actually they are kind of in line. Crude has made a big move up last week, the last couple of days of last week. Remember, crude, the crude key areas, as round as they sound, unfortunately, it sounds like I'm just rounding way up in crude, but really the levels are around 70, the mid 72, and the upper end of the range is 74. And we've pushed on Friday, we've pushed almost to 74, and we're pulling back today by 55 cents. Bitcoin hovering sideways. There's a bunch of speakers. It is Monday, so there's a lot to cover here. The key releases for the week, just so you're aware, are the ZEW Economic Sentiment Index tomorrow out of Germany. That might set the tone for the European markets. That comes across at 5 a.m. Eastern. Great Britain releases its unemployment rate. Shouldn't be too surprising. But the big number, of course, this week are the inflation numbers at 8:30 on Wednesday, July 12th. 8:30, we've got the inflation numbers, and there we're expecting a big drop. The consensus is 3.1% on the headline year on year. The prior's 4%, so we are really racing towards that 2% limit. And then core inflation is really important in that while the headline is dropping quickly, the core inflation is not. Core inflation at 5%, the prior is 5.3%, so that's Wednesday. We get the Bank of Canada interest rate decision as well on Wednesday at 10. Balance trade out of China in the evening. And then Thursday we get PPI. Excuse me. We've got PPI on Thursday, another big input to the Fed. And then we have, on Friday, we have Michigan sentiment. That's a big sentiment figure. And then within all of that, we have all of these Fed speakers coming across. We have today, we've got Fed's Bar, we've got Fed's Daily, Fed's Mester, Fed's Bostic. We've also got the Bank of England's Governor Bailey speaking. And then on tomorrow, I believe we have one or two speakers, and then it just goes on. Like Wednesday, we have Kashkari, Fed's Kashkari coming out. So that's Fed's Bostic again on Wednesday. Fed's Mester. We have Beige Book on Wednesday. It's just, there's a lot. The point is, I'm not going to go through the whole calendar, but there's a lot to cover this week and some real big figures. The Chinese inflation numbers lower than expected. The Treasury Secretary Yellen says it's too early to rule out a U.S. recession. Inflation remains too high. ECB Centino, inflation slowing with core prices to fall. Inflation to be well below 3% by year end. And all indicators say inflation has peaked. So this is quite dovish for the ECB. Chinese regulators fine Ant Group $985 million and sign tech crackdown may end soon. Not sure what that's all about, to be honest. The ES, we're looking at a multi-distribution profile in the overnight session. Quite active price discovery, 233,000 contracts traded so far. 75% of those were traded short, meaning traded below the volume. 75% of 233,000 of that volume traded below the prior close, giving us a short inventory 75%. The range is about 29 points so far, 44.11 to about 44.40, with the point of control shifting down from the prior session to 44.31. That's what's important. And then again, of course, the rotation figures are updated every Sunday night, and these are shared with you. These are quant figures that we normally reserve for conversion trading members, but this tells us what to expect in terms of rotations. Most of it stayed steady. You could see the S&P stayed steady. The NASDAQ ticked up maybe one or two ticks, not much. The RTY dropped like 3 ticks. The Dow dropped about 3 ticks. Crude ticked up. It really there was quite a bit of movement. This is an indication, an additional indication we use for volatility. Okay, let's move on. Here's the overall picture for the ES. The ES had this big old gap last Friday, gap and push, almost got to 4,500. This gives us a bit of a double top at 4,500 now. The prior was like 93.50. This one is 98, something like that. The big picture, though, is a double top in the making. Then we had these holidays, 2 holiday days of trade, and then we really gapped down last week. We really gapped down, and then on Friday we had a bit of a pop. I think the SOC for the non-farm payrolls right there. We had a bit of a pop. We had quite a drop on Friday. Then we opened up, tested down. We had a bit of a drive in the S&P on the open, and then we pull back pretty deep. But here's what you'll notice, and here's what's important. 44.51, very important right now. It's 20 points away from where we are. 44.51 is really the big pivot as we sit here. It's now the big number that we have to watch out for. And you could see the breakout occurred right from 44.51. Right from 44.51, and it had a really good push, and it pushed right into this this area above, and you know that put us into Wednesday's trade, Wednesday's action. There's Tuesday, there's Monday, It put us into Wednesday's action, and you could see that it just topped out right at this afternoon swing on Wednesday, right into the 75 or so, and it just turned over. It could not push through. So we have a double TPO high. So this is a double top here on Wednesday. You could see the highs are the same right there. Double TPO high. This is important. It gives us a weak high against this key reference up here. So we have this line at 75. The other piece is as it pulled back, it tried to bounce into the 65 area. Then it ran hard from 65 on. You could see, we'll look at this in the action. We can look at this in the action. We're going to zoom in here in a minute, but you could see that 65 is the point at which the sell-off on Friday was initiated, and we initiated the sell-off all the way through to the IB low. So what we had is a neutral day, but we didn't have a neutral extreme. We just technically we closed right into the IB, so we had a neutral down day. Okay, a neutral down day, a reversal day, so to speak. We had a reversal in the morning, and we had a reversal in the afternoon, and now we're sitting at the low of Friday. So we are getting a bit of a reset here at the low of Friday, right into the prior settlement. Very interesting space to spot to start from. And then this morning, we have an overnight LIS at 44.23. So we have this area down here at the 23. It's actually down here at the 23 that's likely to act as a line in the sand. So what are we looking at here? 51 is a key figure. 51 is a key price. 65 is where the sell-off started from. 75 is where the rally stalled. These are key price map prices, okay? And then below there, we have a line in the sand in the overnight session at 25. And then we're back at our 44.19. 44.19. This is the MC point of control. This is the most traded price in this region, 44.19. Beyond here, we drop right into, there is a medium level here at 44.10. Not all that important, not expecting it to hold, but then we go to 44.02. So 44.51, if you look up, 65.75, those are the two key prices above us. If you look down, we have 44.25, 19, 10.02, and then beneath here is 43.90. This is your price map for today. It may change slightly for tomorrow, but this is the map we're trading for today. Very important that you're aware of what this is and where it comes from. I'm giving you the reasons for those levels rather than just throwing levels at you and saying, yeah, just take it for what it is. Here's the 44.19. This is the purple line. It's the magnet. Okay, so the 19 is right here. And you could see in the overnight session, we tried to bounce. There was a collision here and a collision here, right at 44.25. We tried to bounce from there. We fell. We formed a W with a double bottom low. This is a very clear double TPO low here in the overnight session. Double bottom low. And then you have a pivot right at the 20. And then the market took off from the 20. But you could see that it's holding the 25 yet again before the rally comes in. And then we get this bigger participation as U.S. markets start to open. So what we have here is an LIS in the overnight session at 44.25. Now, what does that mean for you and me as traders? What that means is we want to use that as a yardstick or tattletale or a marker, kind of like a, if you look at a river and they have that scale on the side and you want to see how high the water has come in, this is what this is. If the market is pulling, it pulls back and it's at 31, it's only 6 points away. That's about a rotation in the ES, okay? And the extent of a normal rotation in the ES is 5 points right now. So it's not that far. So we're looking for key support here at the 44.25. We have our VWAP there, we have our mid there, we have all this action there. If they don't support the 25, the double bottom becomes a target. So from 25 to 44.11, there's a potential opportunity for 14 points with about 5 points of risk in that trade. So this is your first kind of shot across the bow. If it pulls back and holds this 25, tries to poke through, comes back and it's weak on the retest and starts to take off around the pivot, then you're looking for a 27.28 back to 34, and then we're looking for the overnight stat. What is the overnight stat? Pop quiz. What is the overnight stat? I can't wait for your answer. So I'm lying about it being a pop quiz because I really can't wait because it takes too long. It's about 7 to 10 seconds. So in this case, then we're targeting, we're looking to get long 25, 26, 27, as close to that as possible so we can keep our risk really tight. And we're looking not for just settlement because we're opening around settlement and we're probably going to tag it right at the open. We're looking for the 44.40 print, 44.40 print. So we're looking for 13 points in that sense. Now, I'm not just looking for 44.11 on the overnight low, and that's that. No, that's just a really important target because it's a 97 to 98% historical probability, the probability of it testing the overnight high or the overnight low today is 50-50. It might or it might not. It's either a 1 or a 0 for today. But historical probability, it's a little above 97% historical probability that it would touch or breach the 44.40 or the 44.11. Once it does that, I'm looking for, guess what? 44.50. 51. Very important retest area. This is your point of control from Friday. This is the big line in the sand that was left behind from Friday. So we're looking for 27 to 51 as the runner. And we're looking immediately to cover risk at the prior settle and the 44.40. That's the logic behind the trade. That's the trade plan. On the downside, if it clears the 44.11, look out for the 44.10, and then from there it's 0.2. So for 5 points of risk, we're looking for a push with scale outs all the way to the 0.2. This is the plan. Okay. Now I could sit here and trade it in front of you, but if I didn't tell you the plan, it would just all look random. It would look like I'm trading randomly. But knowing the price map and knowing what to look for and what these structures mean will help you use your own approach to the markets while incorporating these key structure areas. Look at this sell-off. It started from 44.65. You see that beautiful zipper, man? That's just a disgustingly beautiful zipper. Breaks it, retests right here. It's so small to see. See that little nubbin right there? That's your entry off the zipper. Oops, off the zipper here. That's your nubbin little entry off the zipper as it fails through. This is your scale out right there at mid VWAP. See, there's a fight there, tiny little zipper again. If you miss it up here, you have to wait for it to break. And there's your little nubbin for the entry on the short side for the continuation on this impulse. This was an impulse move. See, it breached the impulse statistic at negative 7.5 points. Yeah, last week is negative 7.75. And then you're looking for the next leg. This then becomes another impulse which gets retested here. Pretty decent structure, right? So I'll leave you with that. I know this is going long. There's a lot to cover here. The relative delta this morning really is a bit messy, but we could see that there was quite a bit of lifting that took place. In fact, I wonder if I can take this. I'll probably just have to add it. So let me just create a default, save defaults, okay. But if I added this, okay, you'll see that, man, there was a lot of big delta lifting right up in here, right up in there, quite a bit. See this very large lot. So there's quite a bit of interest to the buy side, but overall we're ending up with a positive delta on flat prices. They're trying to find a bottom is what this is saying. Okay, and so this is what that looks like. I've run out of time. I don't have much time to cover the ES crude. Outstanding performance there on Friday. Look at this, absolutely crushing it. Crude, any pullback to 72 is probably a buy on the first test. Crude cleaned up a lot of single prints, and then the NQ held up pretty well on Friday, but ended up doing the same thing, almost a double bottom, and it went right to that old VPOC, or this old value or balance area at 15,350, the equivalent level that we're looking for today in on the downside in the Nasdaq's 15,100. We breached it a little bit, but 15,100 is a really important test, and the next big area is to clean up this 15,000 area with the single prints as it runs down. So again, the Nasdaq is leaving behind a somewhat not so balanced profile from Friday, and it's opening at the low end. To me, I'm more likely to look for structure to sell in the Nasdaq for a retest of 15,100 than to buy. We'll see what happens. Good luck, and don't forget to sign up for Thursday's AMA. If you have questions about what I covered today or what I'm covering in these videos, just show up on Thursday and ask your question. We'll do our best to get to it and get you informed. Good luck, and I'll catch you there.